because Trump, besides the fact he's a raging racist, he also, unfortunately, has access to the world's biggest nuclear arsenal. He doesn't understand his own political system. He doesn't understand his own constitution. He doesn't understand how his own government works. He doesn't understand any of the international treaties that the United States has signed up for. I mean, just look what's happening with the border caravan that's coming up through Mexico and is about ready to hit the southern border of the United States within the next couple of days. It's just ridiculous. I can't, well, as Forrest Gump says in the movie, stupid is as stupid does. And unfortunately, in a democracy, stupid people can get elected. Also, unfortunately, stupid people who are not very well informed get to vote. So that's a consequence. Though I can perfectly understand why Donald Trump got elected. Why he got elected was very simply, for the last 20 to 40 years, the American people have trusted their political elites to run the system, and neither party has done a very good job of making sure that the average American can get ahead anymore. So what the American people basically decided to do in the 2016 election was they decided to throw a grenade in the middle of the whole system and blow it up by electing somebody with no political experience. They honestly decided to give it a try because they thought that he would learn fast enough on the job to figure it out, and eventually he'd get half good at it. But as we've seen, it just keeps going from like crisis to crisis, and it's turned into a complete gong show, which I knew it would from the very beginning, because for a variety of reasons. Yeah, it's just shocking to me how a country, the night that Obama was elected for the first time, in November of 2008, my wife and I sat on the couch. I watched that entire night. I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning that night, the night that Obama was elected the first time. I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning, went to work the next day on like 3 hours of sleep. Watched the whole thing. And when he was declared president, my wife and I were sitting in our living room and we both wept. We both cried. And the night that Donald Trump was elected, my wife looked at each other and we couldn't believe it. We were like, you've got to be kidding. Him? Of all people, you've got to be kidding. Like, how do you go from a guy like Obama, who can actually put a full sentence together and is really, really smart, how do you go from Obama to Trump in 8 years? How does that happen? How does that? Because if somebody's got an answer for that, I'm still trying to figure it out. And I've been studying US politics since I was 12. And I'm still trying to figure it out. How do you go from a guy like Obama to a guy like Trump in 8 years? How does it happen? He's the first guy ever to get elected president, and he never proposed any policies. He got to the presidency by bullying all of his opponents into the ground. He bullied all of his opponents. He's the first guy ever to get elected president, and he didn't have, he never formally, if you look at all of his campaign speeches, there's no policy in there. For the 16 months he ran for president, there's not one solid policy in any of the speeches that he ever makes. Not one. There's no policy platform in everything he ever says. He basically, through the
the other Republican candidates, he beat 16 other Republican candidates for the nomination. He basically won because he wouldn't let any of the other candidates talk, because he talked over all of them. He talked over all of them. He bullied all of them. Like, that's how he won. And everybody just ate it up. Like, everybody just ate it up. I don't know, man. Like, oh, and you know what the hot rumor is? I found out on CNN either yesterday or the day before. You know what the rumor that's running around the Democratic Party? Hillary Clinton wants to run again in 2020. And you know what the Republican Party's going? Republican National Committee's going, yes, please. Because I'm telling you right now, if Hillary Clinton runs again in 2020, then you just re-elected Trump for another 4 years. If Hillary Clinton runs again in 2020, you just basically guaranteed Trump getting elected for a second term in 2020.